Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Ascalise, the Inventress. My business is Inventing A to Z. At Inventing A to Z, I work with clients to take their products from concept to fruition, from a napkin idea all the way to the marketplace and everything in between, the right way. If you want to contact me, email me, Lisa at inventingatoz.com. My website, inventingatoz.com. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Ascalise, the Inventress, CEO and founder of Inventing A to Z. Welcome to the Inventress podcast. Super excited today because I have a phenomenal guest on today, Grace Eleyae of Grace Eleyae Products. Welcome, Grace, to the Inventress podcast.
Yes, look at it. You look good.
Yes, I'm feeling good, girl. I'm feeling myself all week long.
Yes, I love it.
Hat.
Uh-huh.
And I just threw on the glasses. But your brand is amazing. So everybody, those who are tuning in are looking at one of my very, very special guests, Grace Eleyae.
Hello.
Who is an inventor, an entrepreneur, a star. You are a star, girl.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Done it. You have done it with your brand. I'm just so flabbergasted in how you've done what you do. So for those of you listening, Grace has a full line of, as you can see, caps, satin pillowcases.
Yep.
Hold on a second. The adult slaps.
Yep.
I didn't know which one to put on today. Slap, and I could do this very easily, by the way.
Yeah.
The slap or the cap.
Yeah.
And but just there's so much to say about you. You've been on The View, you've been on every morning show and just doing your thing with showcasing what you've developed for and have had women be able to walk into the grocery store, look at 7 a.m. like I do.
Yeah. That was the goal. You nailed it.
I nailed it, right? Well, that's because of you. Well, Grace, welcome to the Inventress podcast. Thank you so much for joining me, for joining us. And
it's my pleasure.
I want to share your story. I could talk about you forever. I want to know how you came up with this design. And it's not one, it's many, guys. And you're going to go to her website and we'll talk about that, her website, her social media, all of that in a minute. Yeah. Great.
So originally I was on vacation with my mom and sister visiting. My mom's from Kenya, my dad's from Nigeria. And we were visiting family in Kenya in the Kenyan summer. This was in 2013. And my hair was at the time chemically straightened. I was heat straightening it. And then of course the heat from it just being so hot and dry out there. And all of that in combination with a 12-hour road trip with my head bumping up against a headrest resulted in breakage of about 2 inches wide or so in the middle of my head. And that was pretty traumatizing. And, and one of the things that my mom had suggested earlier on the trip was on these road trips, it can just get kind of dry and dusty. You may want to wear a scarf. And I was like, I'm on vacation. I want to look cute. And instead, I, of course, suffered the consequences of not wearing the scarf. And it kind of started the wheels turning in my head of there has to be a way or something out there or something I could even create that is cute enough for me to feel cute on vacation, but also protective of my hair. And so that's where the wheels started getting turning. And from there, I took the next year or so really. At the time, I was taking night classes, just night sewing classes and fashion design courses. And I was just taking the next year to kind of figure out how I wanted to design this thing, I would kind of stare at people wearing beanies on the streets and see, oh, it's constructed like this, and what if I did that? And there was so many different things that didn't that I knew that it needed to stay on the head, but satin is very slippery, and that last piece, which is the hidden elastic band that helps it to stay on, didn't come until the last class that I took in, I think, December of 2013, excuse me. And I made the first prototype. Actually, the idea came in a moment of divine inspiration. And I just went straight to my sewing machine and created the first prototype in February of 2014. So, and it took a few iterations to get the one you're wearing on your head right now, but eventually it got there.
So 6 years later, you've created perfection, honey.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
You really have. And I'm a hat person. We spoke about this before on the phone, but I'm such a hat person. I typically wear baseball caps.
Okay.
And because I don't necessarily feel comfortable in the Gupalinis, we call them, but they're like caps. But you design this in such a way that it just feels good. I'm looking in the mirror a lot. So, because this feels great. It looks great.
You make it look great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. And I can wear this anywhere. I put on my little faux fur a little bit, like dress it up, dress it down. I had on my denim earlier when I was wearing it when I wore it out to the mailbox. And so you've done such an amazing job, and you've covered the gamut. So what I want to say is Rome was not built in a day.
Yep.
Everything takes time. Yep. We're talking 6 years later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 years. We're 2021. No, you're coming up on your anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you've put in so much work and detail. I'm going to show the burgundy one I have. I mean, the drawstring that you have here.
Yeah.
That you made sure you covered every aspect of what anybody would need or ask for in a cap like this. And I don't even like to call it a cap or a hat. It's like a Hollywood thing.
I love it.
It's a love fest for me. And it feels great on my head.
And that was the goal. Like, we really wanted to create products that can help people live their lives with confidence. One of the phrases that we use here is we want to make confidence look effortless, right? And so if you're deep conditioning, you shouldn't have to stay home and sit on the couch. You can just put on a slap over your shower cap and go out to the store and live your life as you would have if you weren't deep conditioning. And so we took that concept. We started with the original slap with just 5 different colors, and we sold those for more than a year. And then we just started to build on that. We started to build on the different products, adding in scrunchies, adding in pillowcases, and then moving into more winter products, and realizing, that people were wearing their slap underneath their winter hats and winter beanies. And it's like, why don't we just create winter beanies and hats with satin on the inside that will also protect their hair? And so really we like to put a lot of thought into the products that we create and be very intentional about making sure that it is helping people, making confidence look effortless, essentially.
And that's exactly what you did. That's bottom line. You've done everything. And I feel comfortable. I feel cool. I have to tell you, I feel cool in this.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
This kind of cool.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Got them stunner shades on. Yes.
Cool. I had to put these on. Yes.
Yep.
Cool. But cool in my head. I'm not sweating. It's comfortable. I feel like it's taking care of my hair. I feel like my hair is literally being taken care of.
Yeah.
During this, because
that's great.
Typically when you're wearing a knit cap, it kind of feels like it's pulling and pulling.
Yeah.
You've made this effortless, and your words are so important and everything intentional.
Yeah.
And, I feel the intention in what you brought forth to this entire line. I really do. Yeah. Even my daughter has not seen this yet, but even in my pillowcase.
Yep.
I feel my head and hair feels so comfortable, and I'm sleeping better.
Oh, good. And it also is really good for skin too. The pillowcase is a great one for skin as well. So that one covers both hair and skin.
And coolness, I have to tell you, because I'm
Yeah.
I'm at the age where I'm a little warm at night. And
Uh-huh.
it's a little warmer during the nighttime hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this actually cools me down. It
Oh, nice.
cools
I
me.
would agree. I would agree. I don't know what age that starts, but I'm pretty warm at night too. So sleeping with the silk and satin pillowcases are the best for that. So I
Does
agree.
it not cool you down?
It does tremendously.
I don't think a lot of people know this, but they'll know it after today
Yeah, right.
and what you've put out, because you've been on everything. So come on, talk to me about The View. You're on The View, girl, and everywhere. How did that feel to be on The View?
It was pretty surreal, and it was actually a really cool experience in general, because what we were there to do was to actually bless a woman who had been she had been basically self-funding an after school program in Texas, and just using her own resources, and for kids that were incredibly underprivileged. And so actually this was Whoopi Goldberg's initiative, and she invited some business owners to actually come in and be a part of blessing this woman with resources. And so we were able to donate to her organization and then tell a little bit about our product at the same time. And it was actually a really cool experience, because we kind of had that giving back element to it as well. But at the same time, it was just, the lights, it was really cool. And it was awesome meeting the whole cast and everything.
So you work so hard, and I really try to get to the gut and the roots, because I'm all about the feeling, the gut feeling, the gut.
Yeah.
So as you're creating your line and going through it, I know that you're journaling the journey. I talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But when did you have that? You must have had that gut, knowing that this was it. This was the line. You were sure. You knew that you're going to roll out and just go hard and big. And tell me when that moment happened for you.
It's interesting, because I believe that entrepreneurship is a faith journey, right? So the whole time you're taking, and faith is really like while you're believing for you have a vision of the hope that you're aspiring toward, but every single day is like you're battling against another problem that needs solving, essentially, right? And so before we even really started getting going, I remember having a conversation with my brother in, I think, April of 2014, before we actually launched officially in September of 2014. But I made the first prototype in February of 2014. And so I remember having a conversation with my brother, and he at the time was running one of Amazon's million square foot distribution centers. He was big in like supply chain management and just all of that. And so and fulfillment and all that stuff. And so and he was like, do you think this is something? He was just asking me. And I said, I think this is something. And he said, how many do you think you can sell like in a day? I was like, I think I could sell, I don't know, 100. And at the time, mind you, I was making them myself. I was making maybe one every hour, in an 8-hour shift for just me. I would have taken, I would have made 8 total, maybe 12, with no breaks. So like it would have broke me if I got 100 a day at that time. But it was this faith speech that I put out there that was, I think, and I remember him being incredulous. Like, you think you could sell 100 of these in a day, And so I realized this whole journey from, there's always the hope. Yes, we're going to be a lifestyle brand. We're going to move. We're going to boom. And we have all these hopes, right? But every single day is a faith walk, and like overcoming, I always say, solve the problem in front of you. It's so easy to see the mountain of issues that you have. And so instead of looking at the mountain, find the problem that you can solve and solve it, and as you solve bigger and bigger problems, you have increased faith to solve even bigger problems from there, because it's funny, because when we're making $500 in a day, it's a lot. It's, at the time the faith I have now, like, so basically if we were making and needed to make let's say $100,000 in a day to maintain our operation. But I was back 7 or 8 years ago, I would be like, oh my gosh, where are we going to get that money? It would be panicked. But if you just take it a day at a time, right, solve the next problem, the problems start getting bigger and bigger. But at the same time, your faith has also grown with it. And, you just keep moving up and up and up and until. So I would just say that it really happened, that moment essentially of faith, like I think this could be something, really happened even before we launched, right? But every single day has been me growing the faith to handle something that I hoped for 7 years ago.
Grace, let me tell you something. My heart be still, because you're just amazing. You've therapized the entire world just now. You have therapized everyone. Because it's true. When you ask and when you believe and you get to that point where you really believe and have confidence in what you're doing, everything flips on its axis.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything you believed before that you didn't believe, that you couldn't do things, went away. So you got to a point where you just realized in 2014, like, what?
Yeah.
You gave it to God.
Yeah.
And when you give God the glory and you give him everything that you want to build moving forward with your guide, you got it. All you have to do is ask, right?
Yeah.
And believe.
100. Yep.
You have the determination to do anything, and you've proven it. So that moment came to you in February 2014, where you just said, what? We got this, my brother. We have it. We can make this happen. Forget about the money. Because it always comes. That's part. You know what? That part is easy. It actually is.
It's a resource. It's just a resource, just like human resource, just like it's just a resource that you might need to move forward. But you're right, that will come. You can find resources.
That part is easy, especially when you believe and you have confidence in whatever it is you're doing, because the whole world will have confidence in you, right? So when you're looking for, if it's investors or anybody else to come along for the ride, they'll believe you when you believe in yourself, in what you're doing, if you need funding. But most importantly, like, you know what? The mailbox will be filled with everything that you need, all the monetary values that you need to create your line. And I believe that's what happened with you because of your faith and because of your belief and because of your confidence in what you've developed. I mean, listen, honey. You soothes my soul in so many ways, your words, your deeds, your products. Like, this is not even, I don't want to call this a product. This is a blessing. This is a blessing.
Yeah.
God gave this to you. And let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How did you come up with slaps? Why slaps?
So actually, that was my mom's idea. So when we first created, this was back in February, March timeframe, I had shown it to my mom, my sisters, aunties, everyone loved it, raved about it. My mom was the one who actually was like, this could be a business. She's the one that started the train of thought of like, this could actually be a business. Because at the time I was, like I said, I was taking fashion design courses, but with the intention of starting a fashion line, So in my mind, and then I also was wanting to go to grad school. There's all sorts of things going in terms of my plans, right? And so my mom was the one that was like, no, this could be a business, And so when
mommy.
Right? Yeah, she just
got it.
She spoke it into existence. And so when we were trying to think of a name for the product itself, at the time we were calling them satin line beanies because, like I said, I wanted something that looked like a beanie but had the function of a bonnet, right? So if the beanie and the bonnet had a baby, it would be the slap, right?
That's great.
That's the way I typically try to explain it.
Great.
Yeah, and so when so at the time it was we knew. So I was like, the name beanie, the word beanie, it has a source somewhere. It probably just like Kleenex, is a brand. It's even though we refer if I said Kleenex, you would know I meant tissue. I was like, so I want to think of something catchy and
branding,
not.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
Branding. That's
exactly.
all.
Exactly.
Branding.
Exactly. And so at the time, like I said, we were calling them satin line beanies. And so my mom first suggested sleenies. We were like, I don't know.
That's not bad. Maybe Mini me. Wait, I think that's a mini me version later.
Yeah, maybe later. That'll be a new product line. Sleenies, you're right. And so then we started changing to Satline caps, and as we were like Satline cap, and she's the one that said, "What about slap?" And I was like, "Yes, slap, catchy, one word, it's perfect." So my mom's one that came up with it.
Your mom wins. She does win, and moms win every single time. But you know what I love about slap? Because for me, I'm like, just slap it on.
Yeah, that too.
Slap it on. I mean, I talk about grocery store because that's the only place I go.
Yeah, nowadays, right?
That's it. And I run and I hold my breath. But anyway, so I slap on, and I could be having on like something less fancy than this, and typically I'm not wearing. I did this for you. I wore the faux fur for you today, Grace.
I love it.
This is for you.
I love it.
So when you're wearing something that's, a little bit more casual, you feel good about wearing this. I don't feel like, you could wear your sweats and whatever else. And you look good, but not only do you look good, you feel good because you can adjust it to any size, make your head. I didn't adjust this one at all. No. And
you just throw on some hoops. You can literally have, if you have your, hair in, throw on some earrings, you're good to go.
This line is amazing. And please give a shout out to your website so that everyone knows where to find the slaps and all of the other items that you have on your website, please.
Yeah. So it's graceeleyae.com, Grace, and then my last name's ELEYAE.com. And you can find everything there.
And I mean, so what are you doing other things? Are you developing, not that you don't have enough right now. You've got a lot going on between your satin pillowcases, your silk pillowcases, to all of the caps, to the, this is easy for me. But I want to show this. I'll probably do this as one of my picks of the week and this.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm wearing these all the time. You realize that?
Yes, I love it.
You make a monster out of me. But on social media, where can we find you?
So we're on Instagram, and we're at Grace Eleyae, and then on Facebook we're at Satline Caps.
You're absolutely amazing. If there's anything else you want to share with us before we wrap up, please share. Let me know. Let us know any more that we need to know. Girl, I could talk about you all night long. I could just listen to you and talk about your motivation and your inspiration.
Yes. No, I just want to encourage. So whenever people also ask me just in general, I have a new idea, I don't know what to do or how to get it going, I always just say, just start. If you have an idea that you are working on, go for it. So if you need to, so I made the prototype because I knew how to sew, but if you don't know how to maybe make the prototype that you have, draw it, start getting people's opinions about it, start seeing how much somebody would pay for it. My friends and family ended up being my first focus groups because I would just take it around, say, do you want to try this? I'd make another one, go back to Joann's fabrics, and I always just say just do the first step, and the rest will start following, so.
That's wonderful, wonderful advice. One more thing I want to ask you though. So those who feel defeated, let's talk about the entrepreneurs and the inventors who feel defeated because they've worked for 3 weeks, very hard, 3 weeks, and they feel defeated and they want to quit. What do you say to those people, Grace?
Keep going. It's such a, it's so easy. There's many times in our the last 7 years, where it would have been easy for us to quit. Very easy, from what quality issues, customer service issues, all of the operational things that were going on. There was multiple times where if I said some of the issues that we were having, it would be like, I don't know how are you guys still here? You just need to keep going. If there's slight changes, you pivot, you make the changes that need to be made, and you keep going, right? Get more feedback, get more information, research, do whatever you need to do to stay on the course, essentially.
But I think that and I love that. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
that. Everybody needs to hear this too, because again, there are inventors and entrepreneurs who feel
Yeah.
like they should not have issues at all.
Yeah.
Everything should
Exactly.
be smooth sailing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish 35 years of things that have
Yeah.
happened. I can't, if I told a story or wrote a book about my things, everybody would say, why are you doing what you do?
I bet. Yeah. Yeah.
But you do what you do because you have a passion for it and you
Yeah.
believe in it and you just
Yeah.
keep going. You jump over those obstacles, right?
Exactly.
And you
Exactly.
continue. Listen, down to this morning with PayPal and some of my clients who are trying
Yep.
to send money overseas, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
They were like, "Done. I'm
Yeah.
over it." Really? You're over it now?
Yeah.
Now you're over it?
Yeah.
You've come this far. Why would you be over it?
Exactly. Well,
This
it's,
is just the beginning. Go ahead.
yeah, and it's interesting because one of the quotes that I live by is fear and faith have the same thing in common in that they both require you to believe something that hasn't happened yet. And so what happens when we get to these places of incredible fear, like we're up against a wall, we're up against a mountain, we're up against an insurmountable object, you know, and we become afraid. But it's like the same mental energy that can go into the fearing the fact that you're gonna go under, it's gonna be shameful, this is gonna all these things are gonna happen. You can put that a lot. It might take a little bit more mental energy because it's so easy to go there in our minds, but find the hope in the situation, right? It hasn't happened yet. Keep moving forward and you may find a little wormhole to get through to the other side, so
And you always do.
you always do.
I
If you
love the
keep
way you
moving.
put that, and you always do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think obviously we run away from fear faster because
Mhm.
we can escape from that.
Exactly.
But I mean,
It's safe,
that's what people say.
it feels safer. It feels safer to run away,
It
right?
does feel safer.
Yeah.
But I mean, fate, you're going to have a lot of obstacles, as I said, and fears and things that you've never faced before
Yeah.
when you're in a business or
Yep.
in life. In
Yep.
life,
Yep.
you just have to face it and grab it. And what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
What's the worst that could possibly happen
Exactly.
if you're
Exactly.
in that same place?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That
Hmm.
same place that we talked about.
Yep.
Face the
Yep.
fear, grab it because,
Yep.
well, number one, God is in control,
Amen.
and
Yep.
when God is in control, you can't
Yeah.
fail. You know,
Yeah.
you can't fail fully. You should fail a
Yep.
little bit to
Yep.
understand. You got to
Yep.
fail a little bit in
Yep.
order to understand success, right?
Yeah, 100. And actually, I have this whole talk on the idea that it's actually okay to fail. Get comfortable with, like, don't be afraid of failure. That I went through my 20s. I started my 20s. I remember somebody asking me what my biggest fear was, and I was like, I guess failure. And at the time, it really was. And my whole 20s was full of a bunch of failed like things that I took and failed, took and failed, until I got to the place where I wasn't afraid of failure, and it's okay. Like, there's actually in when you're working out, they actually say there's a term that they might use, which is like you train to failure,
Train to fail.
like,
Train to
and
fail.
as you train to failure, your body builds new connections in your muscles and you build muscle. So it's like, don't be afraid of failure, embrace it and move on. You use that failure to build muscle, essentially.
So they call it failure,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really building success. So when you go to the place where you can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and in terms of muscle,
Yep.
in terms of muscle, when you fail to succeed, to go harder, what
Mhm.
you're doing is really succeeding and
Yeah.
getting to another level.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
bringing your body and your muscles to another level.
Mhm.
Same goes your mind. You're bringing
Yep.
your mind to another level.
Good.
You're not failing, you're succeeding in the understanding that you've been there.
Yep.
How do I learn from
Yeah.
the place that I couldn't overcome whatever that thing was there, but I
Mhm.
gave myself a moment, or I slept on it, or whatever it was,
Mhm.
and you
Mhm.
came out of it on the other side,
Mhm.
more brilliant than you went in, brighter,
Yep.
smarter,
Yep.
willing to move forward. And I think the failure is 100% success, because you can't
100%.
learn to
Mhm.
build your business unless you learn how to jump over obstacles. It
Yeah.
just doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Yeah. I love that. I love that terminology you used. Even the failure is actually building success. That's exactly what it
It
is.
is
Yep.
100%. I
It's
gotta find. We have to find a new word for failure, because it's
yeah.
really I mean, I guess it builds. I guess it builds strategy. I don't know. You got to find another word for that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it failure seems like for some people fail. Oh, I failed. I
Yeah.
failed. You didn't. You succeeded in that moment of that new word that we're to create, right?
Yeah.
You succeeded in that word because now you're coming out, especially if you come out and you build a better you or a better business because of it, right?
Yeah.
Build a better you because you couldn't lift another weight. Let's
Exactly.
go back and build another, let's lift another 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Let's do another stitch. We didn't like this stitch. Let's build a different stitch.
Exactly.
And create a better line, a better brand, and wind up like you, Grace, on The View and all of these amazing shows that you're doing and selling your brand and building your brand and having people love you and your voice. I think your voice is so dynamic.
Thank you.
And it goes with your product. So
it's very sweet. Thank you.
Love and admire you. And by the way, Tyrese is the one, I call him my son, who introduced me to you.
I love it. That's awesome.
He just raved about you. I said, I'm okay, Tyrese. I will reach out. Well, I didn't, it was easy. You didn't have to talk me into anything.
Yeah.
Tyrese Gibson, everybody, yes.
Yeah.
Boy, Tyrese Gibson, I know, right? He followed you.
Okay.
And he said, Mama Lisa, you must look up Grace and her line. And I said, okay, done and done.
Oh, my heart's like pounding. That's awesome.
So yes, Tyrese Gibson, I give you the credit, my son, for this wonderful interview. And we're going to move forward in many different directions.
Yeah.
I want to help you in any way I can possibly help you to continue to build your brand. Love it. Love you. Love your motivation, your style, your just your gratitude for everything that you're doing and for giving back and everything else. So appreciate you. Shout out one more time, girl, where we can find everything about you, everything that you do, all of your pieces, your wonderful pieces, your silk pillowcases and everything else. Where can we find you?
So our website is graceeleyae.com, and our social media on Instagram, we're at Graceeleyae, and Facebook at Satin and Caps.
You have been my Wonder Woman today.
Thank you.
My Wonder Woman. And we can't wrap up the show without asking 3 questions.
Okay.
The first question is, if you were to write a movie, what would the name of the movie be, Grace?
Have faith.
Love it. Perfect. All right. Who would play you? What actress would play you? And it doesn't matter gender, whatever. Who would play you in that movie? In that film?
Probably, I get that I look a lot like Lupita Nyong'o.
Yes.
And she's a phenomenal actress, so I would probably take that.
And her heart is kind. She's got that, I mean, really synonymous with you. The kindness, love, the genuineness. I love that.
Oh.
Okay, and final question. That's perfect. If you were in I'm not going to say rabbit hole because it gives me claustrophobia when I say rabbit hole, and so I'm going to say on a deserted island, and you were alone, but there was one other person you could bring with you, and it could be anybody, not a significant other.
Okay.
Not your man, Grace. Right? You see enough of him, leave him home. Only kidding.
I'm glad you said that, because if I didn't say him, I won't get in trouble now. So
I'm getting you out of trouble.
Thank you.
I've given you a rope, Grace.
I love
it. So not your significant other, no family member.
Okay.
Who, what, well, I know what you're going to say. Would that be?
Oh, you know what I'm going to...
You're too easy.
Dead or alive? Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Ooh. I mean, it would be really obviously cool to be with Jesus, right? That would be kind of cool. You just walk on water to get out of here.
I've had people say Jesus,
Uh-huh.
but I've never had anybody answer it the way you do it. It would be cool. It'd be really cool to have
What did it though? He could multiply. He could turn stones into bread. You know, like we'd be covered.
5,000 fish. You know,
Exactly.
the whole thing.
Multiplying things. We would basically build a civilization. You know, like yeah.
Oh my God. The best answer, the way you answered, the best answer ever for nobody.
Awesome.
Honey, you rock.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you. You
so
rock.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the Adventures podcast. You made my year, girl.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Keep on doing what you're doing. Let's get on that call. We know what we're talking about tomorrow and see how we can move forward with other things.
Yeah.
So until next time, sweetheart, keep on lifting each other up 2 hands at a time, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Love you, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was great, everybody. What a wonderful guest to have on our show, on our podcast. Grace is just, she spearheaded this incredible business that she has. Love her line of products. I mean, she has slap caps. She's got silk pillowcases. She's got, I'm wearing one right now and I've been like feeling myself, like looking in the mirror. I have my Hollywood glasses on, wearing her cap, feeling good. I cannot take this cap off right now because it would be a disaster. But thank God for Grace's line of products. And please, again, go to her website. It's Grace, GraceEleyae.com. And please take a look, purchase, support. She's an amazing, amazing person. So listen, guys, I'm just so impressed, and I feel so good about having her on the show. And again, this is our second time now going live on Zoom, and it's great to be able to see people's faces and their reactions to some of my questions. Just had a wonderful time with Grace. If you want to find out how to get on my podcast, please be sure to email me. It's lisa@inventingatoz.com or info@inventingatoz.com. You can find us on many, many different platforms, every social media platform, Spotify, Apple, you name it, you see it. Just look up the name, Lisa Ascalise, the Inventress. You'll find me everywhere. And I can't wait to see you next time. Keep on lifting each other up 2 hands at a time. And sometimes you definitely have to use that foot. Until next time, everybody,